the small town of Willow Creek. Nestled among rolling hills and ancient oak trees, lived a man named Samir. He wasn't extraordinary by any traditional measure. He had no grand achievements, no towering fame, nor wealth to his name. But what Samir possessed was a mind that refused to settle for mediocrity. Samir had grown up in Willow Creek, a town where the horizon was as endless as the dreams he nurtured. Yet, for most of his life, those dreams remained just that, dreams. He worked a simple job in the local factory, his days blending into one another in a monotonous routine. Every evening, as he walked home under the fading light of the sun, he felt a gnawing sense of incompleteness, as though his life was a shadow of what it could be. But there was something different about Samir. Where others might have resigned themselves to a life of quiet desperation, Samir's mind was always alive, always reaching for something more. He had read about the power of the mind, how thoughts could shape reality, and how belief could bend the universe in your favor. These ideas had always intrigued him, though they seemed more like fanciful theories than practical advice. One day, as Samir sat by the river that wound through Willow Creek, he had a revelation. He realized that if he could change his thoughts, he could change his life. It wasn't enough to merely dream. He had to act. But more than action, he had to believe truly, believe that he could create the life he wanted. It started small. Samir decided that every morning he would visualize his life as he wanted it to be, vividly, with all the details as real as he could make them in his mind. He imagined himself not as a factory worker, but as a successful entrepreneur, someone who brought value to the world in a way that was meaningful to him. At first, nothing changed. The factory still awaited him each morning. The same routine, the same tired faces. But something was happening inside Samir. His mind was beginning to shift. He started noticing opportunities where before he had seen only obstacles. He began to take small steps toward his goals. No matter how insignificant they seemed, days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The changes in Samir's life were subtle at first. Chance meeting with an old friend, a book that sparked a new idea, a random conversation that led to an opportunity. But as he continued to focus his mind on his vision, the pieces of his life began to rearrange themselves. One day, while on his lunch break, Samir met a man named Raj, who owned a small but growing business in town. They struck up a conversation, and Raj, impressed by Samir's ideas and enthusiasm, offered him a chance to work with him on a new project. It wasn't a huge leap, but it was a step in the right direction. Samir threw himself into the work with passion. He began learning everything he could about business, marketing, and leadership. His evenings, once spent in idle distraction, were now devoted to studying and planning. His weekends, once a time of rest, became a time of building and creating. And then the breakthrough came. Raj decided to expand the business and offered Samir a partnership. It was a risk, But Samir knew that this was his chance. He took the leap, leaving the factory behind for good. The transition wasn't easy. There were setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt. But Samir's mind had been trained by now. He knew how to push through the fear, how to focus on the solution instead of the problem. As the years passed, the small business grew into a thriving enterprise. Samir became known in Willow Creek not just for his success, but for his generosity and willingness to help others achieve their dreams. He often spoke at local events, sharing his story and emphasizing the power of the mind. He would tell people, "It all starts here," tapping his temple. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. If you can master your thoughts, you can master your life. Samir's journey wasn't one of sudden success, but one of consistent belief and relentless action. He had proven to himself and others that the mind, when properly harnessed, could indeed shape reality. He had transformed his life, not through luck or coincidence, but through the power of his thoughts, his unwavering belief, and his determination to act. In the end, Samir understood a truth that many spend a lifetime searching for. The real power lies within. It's not about what happens to us, but how we respond, how we think, and what we believe. And with that power, there are no limits to what we can achieve.